Welcome, welcome. We're back after the intro. What's going on, my beautiful people? Happy Tuesday. Happy start of the week. We're back with another episode. Hopefully, everyone's week, as always, is starting off amazing, starting off great. Um, we September's about to end. We're about to get to October. Spooky season around the corner, as some people say. But how's everyone doing today? We got a lot to get into. A lot happened this weekend. How my Niners fans doing? Because I'm out here struggling. It was a tough loss, and man, I mean, we're gonna jump into it. And let's just jump into it straight away. Ooh, the Niners, they lose against the Rams 27-24. The Rams without Puka Nakua, Cooper Cup. They were missing some people on their offensive line. Their defense isn't that great. They had just given up 31 points to the Cardinals. Um, we were saying that this was a good bounce back game for the Niners, right? Gonna go in there, show dominance, get the ball rolling again, back on track. And boy, ooh, that did not happen. So let's start with the positives. I feel four players that I'm happy with. And we'll start there. Obviously, number one, Brock Purdy. We've been hearing it, right? Um, he's not gonna have Debo, Kittle, doesn't have McCaffrey, right? But he's still all-star team. Ayuk, Mason, Trent Williams on defense, Bosa, Warner, Travarius Ward, Javon Hargraves. But this was we were talking about it, a good test for Brock Purdy to see what he can do. And boy, did we find out that we have another star, Juwan Jennings. But I want to give my props to Brock Purdy. He had an amazing game. It wasn't on him. He did it. He balled out. I think he had 30 attempts and maybe 22 were completed. So eight of eight, weren't completed passes, but there was six drops. So maybe two he missed, and obviously he missed a big one to Ayuk. But he balled out. It wasn't on him. Brock Purdy, I was amazed by his style of play, and I feel like Brock Purdy. This is Brock Purdy's team. There's no longer Kyle Shanahan. We'll get to Kyle Shanahan, but I feel like maybe Kyle Shanahan is what would I say? Maybe he is holding back Brock Purdy of what Brock Purdy can be, you know. Because I feel like Kyle Shanahan's in his ear, telling him where to throw the ball, where to look. And I think if he just lets Brock Purdy be Brock Purdy, I think what benefits Brock Purdy is his kind of backyard football, making something out of nothing. But that was one. Obviously, Juwan Jennings. He had 12 catches, 178 yards, three touchdowns. He balled out. He balled out. He looked like Randy Moss. He had one where he jumped over a dude and grabbed it right in front of him. And boy, man, I mean, what can I say? I mean, there's been a lot of talk that, Ayuk should give his money to Juwan Jennings, but I feel like Ayuk, all the attention was on Ayuk, right? That opened up space for Juwan Jennings. Um, I don't know if Pepe's if you're just coming in, but I'm saying I'm gonna start with the positive. Don't worry, we're gonna get into the negative. I'm just giving four players that I think se salvan. So Juwan Jennings, like I said, amazing game, another weapon. Um, Jordan Mason, I feel like he just keeps balling out continuously. He runs the ball amazing. He looking like beast mode. The last one, our captain, Fred Warner. Uh, Fred Warner definitely he's a captain. He balls out time in and time out. But let's get into it. Let's get into it. So let's start. I believe Kyle Dan, but Bosa, where are you? Um You getting paid all this money, 34 million a year, and he just doesn't he doesn't seem like that defensive juggernaut that he was. You know, he'll get a sack, right? But I mean, we're not getting to the quarterback. Like Matthew Stafford had all day there, all day. You know, he was doing Matthew Stafford things. Because watching the NFL, right? We'll shout them out later. But for example, TJ Watt and the Steelers, I feel like every play he's either putting pressure, getting a sack, or doing something, stopping the run, making plays. Like that's a defensive player of the year. Fred Warner, but Bosa, what's up? Where are you? Like it's time to step up. It's time. You're getting paid all this money. Like where you at? I'm calling you out, number one. Um, Later on, we found out Javon Hargraves. I think he tore his bicep. But man, there was a play out there that I saw on Twitter where he just wasn't trying. He's getting paid 20 million a year. Obviously, I didn't know he was injured, but still, he hasn't lived up to the price tag. Trent Williams, he did say that it affected him not going to training camp, but like you wanted to get paid this money, and it's time for you to produce. It's time for you to protect Purdy. Purdy, he just doesn't look like the Trent Williams of the best left tackle in the game. He looks rusty. He looks out of shape. But I think the number one, blame is the 49ers overall. Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, everyone, for taking this long to pay these players. Brandon Ayuk, another one. He's been gone missing. Um, he had an opportunity for a big play. Brock Purdy missed him, but now you're getting paid $30 million a year. Where were you this game? They he had like two drops. He's getting open, but I think Brock Purdy is not very confident going to him. He found, Juwan Jennings in his past game. Previous game, he's been going to Kittle a lot, Debo. So, they need to work on that chemistry because, Brandon Ayuk is on paper our best wide receiver on the team. And it's looking like Juwan Jennings is that right now. So that's another one. The secondary. I just got a text about Big Mike. I don't know if you're here, but Charvarius Ward, Jair Brown, Ufunga first game back, obviously coming off ACL. Man, DeAndre Campbell, horrible linebacker, getting cooked. Get him off. Get him off. It's time for him to be on the bench. Who else am I missing? Where are you? The other pass rusher, I'm forgetting his name. We picked him up this offseason. He's been missing. The run defense sucks. Everyone making individual business decisions. I heard your coach say that too with the Raiders. But this is the thing. Okay, let's jump into it. This loss was embarrassing. Embarrassing. Like I mentioned, the Rams, no Cooper Cup, no Puka Nakua. Their defense gave up 31 to the Cardinals. And for the Niners to be up, Kyle Shanahan to be up, I think it was 21-0 or 21-3, 7, whatever. They had the 10-point lead again. And why would you, an important play of the game, put it on Ronnie Bell? Yeah, Ronnie Bell had, two drops that were on him. They're on him. But why would you, when the game's on the line, go to Ronnie Bell? Why not go to Juwan Jennings, Brandon Ayuk? Do some run the ball more with Jordan Mason. And give a chance to Jacob Cowing. They've been hyping him up all off season this week that he was going to get a chance. So Kyle, man, I mean, you're a genius. You're 10 points up against the Rams. The Rams are about to, they're about to be 0-3. They're about to basically that's it for them. And you gave them a chance. Special teams, the fake punt, right? Kyle Shanahan said at the end that he was expecting it. Well, if you were expecting it, why didn't you do anything about it? Like you let that shit happen. And I feel like a lot of Niners fans and a lot of people that praise the Niners all the time, they be giving excuses to this team. This team, I've been calling it ever since last year, a couple of years. I used to drink the Kool-Aid a lot for the Niners 5 years ago. That first Super Bowl run, I would always, think that the Niners would do no wrong. that they're the best team and all that. But after that Super Bowl loss against the Chiefs, my mind changed. Like this team, I feel like they're not accountable. They they always blame something else. The refs, that Super Bowl, Jimmy G missing that pass, the NFC Championship, so Jaquaski Tart missing that interception. They were up 10 points on that game too against the Rams. Home field advantage too, Levi South. The one I'll give it to them against the Eagles. Yeah, Brock Purdy. We had no quarterback. I'll give them that one because last year they came back and they showed what would have happened. But still, in the Super Bowl, they blamed the defense. They blamed our defensive coordinator, Steve Wilkes. He had Mahomes at 13 points in the Super Bowl. It was because, we had a special team blunder, Ray McCown muffed the punt, that they got an easy score, but the defense only gave up 13 points to Mahomes. The offensive genius couldn't score more than 19 points in that Super Bowl with the best team on paper. You got Debo this past week saying that the past 4 years they've been the best team in the NFL. Interesting. Where's the Super Bowl? Well, if we're the best team in the NFL, then maybe we should have won the last two Super Bowls, right? But is that their mentality? They think they're champions already, but they haven't won shit. They haven't won anything. They just, now they're, like I said, Bosa, he came out and said that, that last week's loss, they kind of took it like, we weren't at our best. It is what it is, but this week we'll show up. We don't got to sweat about it. We don't got to take accountability, look at ourselves in the mirror. And then this week he said, we got to sit with this loss. We got to see what really happened. Well, bro, like, why aren't you doing this week after week? Like, the goal is Super Bowl. The goal is to be the best team in the NFC because our window is getting shorter. Next year, Purdy's going to get money and there's going to be business decisions to be made, players to be let go. And, we've been paying all these players and they're not producing. I got Alberto right here. You got to give that back if he can't handle the responsibility of $30 million a year. And I get you, Alberto. I get Ayuk hasn't been at his best, right? But the Niners kind of, like I've been telling you, Alberto, the Niners gonna put this on them because they could have handled the Ayuk situation way early on. They could have paid him earlier, would have had him in camp, would have been ready. We wouldn't be where we are right now. So it's a blame on both, and también Ayuk, like you got to put in that work. You got to let your agent handle your contract. Don't be, crying on social media. Like, just be like, hey, you know what? My agent's going to handle that. Right now, I'm focusing, on being the best version of me to be ready. Exactly. But it's on you. And then that exactly that's what I'm trying to say. He needs to be ready. Also, the Niners, they got to think about the team, right? They want to win the Super Bowl. So they got to make sure all their best players are there for training camp, are there to get reps, are there to have that chemistry. Because now we're 1-2. We're 2 losses in the NFC. And we've been here before where, these dumb losses that we had early on, we look, in the future and we're like, damn, if we would have won those games, we would have been the number 1 seed. And the Niners, when they've made it to the Super Bowl, they've been the number 1 seed. They've had the extra rest. And then we got CMC flying out to Germany, trying to get these special treatments. We lost Javon Hargrave. He's out for the season. Debo's injured. Kittle should be back. Brock Purdy, yesterday, he's day to day. He had an MRI on his back. If it was just like back soreness, why would you need an MRI? Pepe's, you can attest to that, right? If it's just back soreness, I don't think you need an MRI, but he got an MRI on his back. So what's going on there? Same with Trent. He said he missed out on the entirety of summer camp, but that's the other end of holding out. You got to be ready. Exactly. And with the thing with Trent Williams también is he's older. He's 36. So, it takes a lot to get back into that shape for him. I don't know what he was doing. Hopefully he was working out, but reports were saying he was playing golf. So I think it just falls like on this, like I said, these Niners team, Niner fans drinking the Kool-Aid, saying that everything's going to be okay. We'll win the next one. But winning against like I said last week, if we would have won this game against the Rams, it still doesn't prove anything to me. If we win this week against the Patriots, it won't prove anything to me. The Cardinals won. Now that, they did lose, but I think Cardinals, we're going to have trouble with Kyler Murray, especially with Marvin Harrison Jr. And then after that, it's the Chiefs. I mean, if they're able to, If they're able to, okay, we'll beat the Patriots, beat the Cardinals. Um, MRI was done to rule out any other injuries just for reassurance. Okay. But like I said, he's a back soreness, right? Um, but anyways, the Chief one, that was going to be an important game going forward because let's say we win against the Patriots, we lose against the Cardinals, we're 2-3, we go Chiefs. I don't how we're playing because with the Chiefs, you got to play the Chiefs and you got to play against the refs. So we got to be 100 like lock the fuck in. So just tell the Niners to use a Vagisil. Exactly, man. Like the but what else was trying to last thing I want like you guys losing to the but honest the Cowboys Niners bust out bueno because they're both ass. So it's gonna be a mid off. So it could go either way. I mean, y'all almost came back against the Ravens, but y'all were getting smacked. Y'all got smacked by the Saints. And you guys don't do good against us. We I will say we do play against you guys well, and you guys aren't at your best. Your boy Dak ain't locked in with Iwal City. He held out. I don't think he's 100. So I think that's gonna be a good game because it's gonna be puro mid off. But Kyle, I've been saying this man, he needs to look himself in the mirror. He needs to change. I feel like NFL defenses has kind of figured him out. You stop the run, he kind of doesn't know what to do. Like I said, Brock Purdy, I feel like he did a lot of off script. He kept a lot of plays. He's making Kyle look better. In the past, Kyle Shanahan will make Jimmy G look like a fucking all star. But now I think Brock Purdy's carrying. This is Brock Purdy's team. He's carrying it. And I feel like Kyle, you know, I feel like he's just very arrogant. He doesn't learn from his mistakes. How many times has he had the lead and he loses games like this? Why stop running the ball? I get it. They're selling out to stop the run, but I don't know. You're a coach. You're a genius. Figure it out. You had the better team than the Rams. And I will say, I think McVay outcoached him. I think McVay's a better coach. He's won the Super Bowls. Yes, we've beat the Rams many times in regular season, but they have the biggest, the biggest win of them all. They won the Super Bowl. They beat us in the NFC Championship. And McVay, with a lesser team, was able to defeat our team. Oh, and Jake Moody, man, like, dude, no me da confianza ese way. Like, if we're up, he'll score that 55-yarder easy. But when the pressure's on, it's right here. He chokes. And we spend a third round pick on him. I'm going to say this to you, Bonnie. Look at the Cowboys kicker, Aubrey. That guy is looking like the next Justin Tucker. And they got him off the street, That's what I'm saying. Chidi, if you're down to come be a kicker for us, I feel like, that's the move right now. So think about it. If not, I'm going to have to start practicing kicking these field goals, man, because that guy, even when you look at his face, man, he looks so defeated. He looks like he's about to cry, and I don't want my kicker to be like that. Like, because he would have scored that was pretty much game. And like I said, I know there was many things that happened in the game, but that could have won us the game earlier for him not to have that pressure. But you got to make those kicks with that pressure. That's why they pay you. That's why you're in the NFL. But that's all Niner fans. If you're here, anything else I missed? Anything else we want to jump on? Other fans, are you guys enjoying this? I'm sure you guys are. I think most people like Cowboys fans, Niners. I think you guys just don't like how the fans are, and that's understandable. Every fan base has their like annoying fans, but like Niners fans, we also got a Thanksgiving kickoff: Gio versus Nene. Yep, Thanksgiving kickoff. We'll be having Turkey Bowl. Peppies, will you be playing in the Turkey Bowl? Who's the better for? Oh, I see. Thanksgiving kickoff. Yeah, no, pues el Nene. I mean, we'll get in Alberto, but Nene he got a. I don't know if we can kick that far. He got that tough injury, that CMC injury. I've been lucky. I have bad hamstrings, but I've been lucky not to have injuries. But of course, Turkey Bowl, Alberto, make it this year. We need you right there. But let's get past the other NFL teams. So let's start off with the Chiefs. Like I said, they're 3-0. back-to-back Super Bowl champs. They it was a good game against the Falcons. The Falcons they've been surprising me. Um, but again, another questionable call at the end. And like I've been saying, the Chiefs don't need these questionable calls. I feel like they're a good enough team, but for some reason, they missed what was a pass interference on Kyle Pitts. Needed that touchdown too. Um, y pues, with that, they went for round four. They couldn't get it. Um, but I don't know. Hopefully the luck runs out on them. But like I said, I don't think the Chiefs need the refs' help. But man, they're kind of like Man City. También Man City, they be getting hella help too. Um, is Man City the Chiefs of the Premier League? But that's one yesterday's games. Jaden Daniels. Oof. He's looking nice. He's looking nice. He's looking like potential rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year. He's looking better than Caleb Williams, I will say. He hit a couple bombs to again Terry McLaurin, which is the dagger to me. Stay humble. There you go. Yeah, we'll get into that. But man, he looked good. He looked good. Jaden Daniels. That Commanders team going up to Cincinnati, who we thought was going to be a tough game. Cincinnati's 0-3. Joe Burrow, is he a fraud? They were comparing stats. Him, Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, right? First round, first number one overall picks. They show the stats. I know we weren't talking about Niners, but man, compare their numbers to Purdy. Like I said, Purdy, we know what Purdy is. I think he's an amazing player. I think he's a baller. But sometimes I have my reservations on him, but time after time, he does tend to prove some of the haters wrong, and they have very similar numbers. Burrow and Purdy. Purdy, I think, even has more touchdowns. Purdy's obviously they both made it to a Super Bowl and lost, but why don't we get that same skepticism towards Burrow and Trevor Lawrence? Trevor Lawrence yesterday, man, horrible game. I've never, any game I've watched from him, like I don't know, and he has good weapons too. And he hasn't been good, and he doesn't get the hate. He doesn't get um, the skepticism over him. And I think he's made it to one playoff game. So pressure's all on them. Definitely Burrow. The big things were expected from the Bengals. They're 0-3, and so I don't know. I don't know if it's been the injuries. I don't know, but that one was a surprise. But Jaden Daniels, I was impressed. The Bills. Can we say that Josh Allen potential early MVP for the NFL? Man, yesterday what do you have like? He had like different players got different touchdowns. Saquon Barkley as well, but man, Josh Allen, I think he potential to be NFL MVP. He went to James Cook. He went to Kincaid, Coleman. Who else? Different players. The other running back, I wanted more James Cook action, but he did drop one, a walk-in touchdown, and he dropped it. But that Bills team's looking good. So let's jump into it. My Gio's top five, power rankings. Number one, Chiefs. Number two, I got the Bills. Number three, I'm gonna go with the Vikings. Number four, shout out to the Steelers. Justin Fields again. He balling. That defense is balling. And then the last one, I gotta go. I don't want to, but the last 3-0 team left. Out of the five, right? The Sea Chickens. I did say that their defense is going to be way better with the defensive coordinator from the Ravens becoming the head coach, McDonald. That defense is playing good. Geno Smith is doing Geno Smith things with DK Metcalf, Zach Charbonnet. What number you put the Niners? Ooh, they're a mid team. Like I said, like the Cowboys, they're is the mid off. So they somewhere in the 17 to 20 right there right now, because they did have an impressive win first week, and I'll give them the Vikings. The Vikings are good. They look like a good ass team. They beat the Houston, and we were it was a pretty close game last weekend. Sam Darnold's balling, so I'll give him that. But this past week, like you were not supposed to lose. Like I said, football's football. These are professionals, but like on paper, right? Like they were supposed to take care of business, and they bottled it. Like the Cowboy, I think they're in the 15, 20, 21, somewhere there. But another thing I want to talk about is the renaissance of these quarterbacks. Sam Darnold, Andy Dalton this past weekend, Justin Fields. And we can put in Derek Carr and Baker Mayfield, but Niners will get back on track against my trash ass Pats. Bro, can we imagine a scenario where the Patriots beat the Niners? Last week I was thinking, can we imagine the rat like I at this point I wouldn't like it could happen. Like Kyle can do Kyle things. Your guys' defense is not that bad. Offense, on the other hand, is different, but our defense is trash. So I don't know. Kyle can do some boneheaded things. Jake Moody can miss a field goal. We can give up a punt return. Like I wouldn't put it past them. But so let's talk Andy Dalton. Obviously, we talked about Bryce Young. Was it the Panthers' fault? But man, Andy Dalton came in with the same team, and they beat the Raiders. The Raiders were coming off an amazing win against the Ravens. I picked up the Raiders defense on one of my leagues, thinking, oh, they're about to ball out. Boy, was I wrong. Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle. Finally Deontay Johnson. He was used. Thielen, Leggett, Chuba Hubbard had a good game, and it's like, oh damn, maybe Bryce Young is ass, because Andy Dalton at the end of the day, he's a mid quarterback, but I mean he had weapons and he looked good. And could he go next week back where he used to play against the Bengals and make the Bengals go 0-4? Now, imagine that. I almost made that Raiders mistake, ¿verdad? Because it was, like I said, confidence was back up. The Raiders fans, their chests were pumped. They were saying, Raiders. They lost against what we thought was the worst team in the NFL. Little did we know that it's the Cowboys and the Niners and the Raiders. But that's one. Sam Darnold. The first game, I was like, it's against the Giants. Second game, I was like, oh shit. He beat us and he looked good. He looked like the next Steve Young, how Kyle Shanahan would call him. But I was like, well, maybe he knew our defense. He practiced, he was a scout team quarterback. He probably knew. But, he keeps balling. He has a good team around him to his strengths, a good defense. Is Sam Darnold, could he win a comeback player? Is he the next Geno Smith like a couple years ago? Justin Fields. Are the Bears fans looking back at this and being like, man, maybe we should have stuck by him, made our team better? Because Justin Fields, he has the Steelers 3-0. He's only going to get better. His confidence is up. I don't think Russell Wilson is going to be the starter. Why would you, like right now, Justin Fields has the confidence. He's younger, mobile, more mobile, stronger arm. You make them feel comfortable by running the ball a lot with two good running backs, a defense that's balling out, and then, George Pickens. So that's another one. Derek Carr, he didn't have the best of games against the Eagles, but he was looking nice. Same with Baker Mayfield. They finally came down back to earth. But, these quarterbacks, the renaissance of the mid quarterbacks, the forgotten quarterbacks, the counted out quarterbacks. It's good. It's good seeing. It's good seeing a good comeback story. And, we'll see if midnight strikes and they become back to pumpkins. Hopefully you guys get that analogy. No Steelers Nation. Let's ride. Let's well. I see what you did there. Clever. But I don't know my boy Daniel. He's our resident Steeler fan here. I'm sure he's happy. He's happy. 3-0. What else? Do we need to talk about Soccer time, soccer time. We're at 30 minutes. I'll give another five if we got. Sorry for the delay of the show. I had some technical difficulties at the beginning setting this up. And then I also had to pick up my brother from work. Got here late. But anything else? I know we missed. We can do a quick soccer Premier League, you know. Oh, I did want to say my Super Chelsea. They get a good victory, one's 3-0 against West Ham. Am I jumping back on the Jackson bandwagon? See that, Kelly. All right, see that, Kelly. Jackson, I mean, he had two goals. He looked nice, but I want to see him more consistent. And he gave the thriller celebration, hyped me up. But Chelsea, you know, they keep stacking the wins. They won today. Obviously, it was the whatever cup, the Carling. I don't even know what it's called anymore, but they won 5-0 and Kugu scored a hat trick. You know, this team's starting to look good. Man City Arsenal, what a game, 2-2. But, you know, like I said, they had some questionable calls as well. Man City and Arsenal, they just keep doing Arsenal things, man. I don't know. It's just they have this. They're like the Niners, right? They play beautiful. They get there, but they just can't win the big one. And obviously, it's early in the season, so there's still a lot more to play with. But obviously, you know, there was some bad blood between obviously Haaland and Arteta, then Gabriel Jesus. I didn't really like Haaland, you know, throwing the ball at Gabriel to the head. I don't. I think that was uncalled for. Like, you know, you also be humble, sir. But you know, they had a big loss in Rodri. You know, he ACL is what I'm hearing. That was tough. And we won't talk about the Man U's irrelevant teams. Liverpool, they won over there in the Spanish league. Barcelona 5-1. They won, but at what cost? They lost their starting goalkeeper, Ter Stegen. I think he's out for the season. And Real Madrid seems like they're finally meshing. They won today. They won on the weekend. Hendrick, you know, he's coming through. Mbappe's finally getting his goals. La Liga's interesting. I'm going to be very interested to this first Clásico. Let's see where Barcelona really is at, and definitely let's see where Lamil Jamal is at, because I know Alberto. He's the biggest Lamil Jamal fan in this space. Um, but then that I think that will be a short show today. Again, guys, thank you guys for coming in. I will end it with my Gio's words of wisdom. And this week, what should we think? Hmm. This week we should think. Let's make a theme. Hmm. I had it in my head. Should we do a? Let's see. Oops, I was about to end the stream by accident. Fantasy talk. Pick. Fantasy talk. Everyone wants Endrick jersey. They're willing to take it from his back. Ah, yes. When you show me that play, I'm like, dude, like if you got cooked like that, like just kick him at that point. Like, don't be doing that grabbing shit. Like, just slide tackle him. You know, do that. Don't play me still pick. Fantasy talk. We're struggling out here, man. But I've made calculations. The league isn't starting too hot. There's a lot of 1 and 2 teams. So if I'm able to win, and some of these 1 and 2 teams lose, we in there, no problem. Last week making fun, but where MAGA All Star at? We struggling, man. Like in the polls right now, but we have one last hurrah. Like I'm saying, the calculations work. If I'm able to get a win this week, a couple people lose, no pasa nada, no pasa nada. It's tranquilo. The biggest comeback is always the best. You know, when you're down and out, count it out, and you come back like these quarterbacks. It's gonna be one for the ages. So trust. I'm confident, and I think that's will be my words of wisdom. Saying, you know, when the going gets tough, when you're counted out, the biggest thing is when we fear things, when risks. I think in life we got to take a lot of risks because we may be afraid of it, we may be afraid of the outcome, but I think when we take a risk, that could be moving states, different job, asking the guy or girl, shooting your shot at a guy or girl that you've been interested in. It's a win-win because you will get your answer, or from it you'll have the most magical experience. So this week I will take risks with my fantasy team. Hopefully we get that dub. Mag All Stars about to get relegated. We'll come back. Don't worry. But I'll wrap it up like that, guys. Thank you again. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing night. I will catch you guys next Tuesday. Full show. I'll definitely drop some questions so you guys can ask. But everyone, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. We'll be back. Peace out.